How's it going, guys? I'm Chase Lee, and welcome to Real Reviews Live, where I will review such movie that is in the title description live. That way, if whoever's watching, if you want to watch this, if you have any questions about the movie I am reviewing, comment that place yourself on my face and let me know, or you can just comment whatever the hell you want, I guess. So, I am covering the Dallas International Film Festival, and this is the third movie I watched in my lineup, and it's called Turbo Kid. Now, get this. This is the description. I am not making this up, even if I tried. Turbo Kid. It's 1997. It's a ruined post-apocalyptic world. The orphan kid survives on his own through drought-ridden nuclear winter, traversing the wasteland on his BMX, scavenging for scraps to trade for a scant supply of water. When his perpetually chipper, pink-haired new best friend Apple is kidnapped by a minion of evil overlord Zeus, the kid summons the courage of his comic book hero and prepares to deliver turbocharged justice to Zeus, his buzzsaw-handed sidekick Skeletron, and their vicious masked army. That was a mouthful. Okay, so Turbo Kid. The best way to describe this movie, and I'm not even joking, I had to think of something I could describe about this movie. It's a post-apocalyptic, extremely violent and gory, live-action cartoon show with an 80s vibe set in 1997, shot in 2014, 2013. Did I lose you? No? Okay, let's describe this. Filmmakers, if you were watching this, right now this movie's in my top 10 of the year so far. I enjoyed it that much. So let me describe. The directing, first of all, this is a film from Canada/New Zealand production, so this is not from the States. So let's start with the directing. This movie was like the kids' version of Mad Max, except it was more gory. And like I said, it felt like a cartoon show. I felt like I was watching Turbo Kid on his next adventure from last Saturday's adventure. So I really liked the landscapes. Like it felt like I was in this post-apocalyptic world. Everything was just so crappy, and like there was this overlord, that was killing people to harvest their water, because that's the whole deal about this movie. It's a shortage of water and stuff, so they had to find a different way. So Turbo Kid and Apple find out that Zeus has been killing people because he can harvest water from their body, and so they want to go stop him because what he's doing is wrong. And Zeus actually killed Turbo Kid's family, and I know Turbo Kid is not his name, but I call him Turbo Kid because he is Turbo Kid. And so, it's kind of like this really cool revenge story set in this post-apocalyptic setting. And you have Zeus's army led by Skeletron, who wears this really cool looking skeleton mask. He shoots out buzzsaws. It's so badass. So badass. And so, Skeletron is chasing down Turbo Kid and, finally kill him once and for all, because they capture him once, but he escapes and stuff. But then he finds a suit, kind of like in this spaceship bunker of his favorite superhero, which is Turbo Rider, and he puts on the suit and he becomes Turbo Kid. So that's where he gets the name and whatnot. And so he's basically just fighting for survival. That's what this movie is. It's just fighting for survival. So what's unique about this? Like I said, it's like the kid version of Mad Max. It deals with the two kids. It's super colorful and just super. It's really cool how you can have vibrant colors mixed in with this bleak, post-apocalyptic, dreary background. It's a really cool contrast, and I really liked it because it felt like an 80s music video. It was so retro and just so old school. And I felt like I was watching something from 1982 or something, and it had just that vibe to it. It made it so much more fun. Speaking of the fun, the directors decided to go with a super hyper violent, over the top type of deal with their violence, and it is, when I say over the top, I haven't seen this much blood or like violent scenes since a Quentin Tarantino movie, which is probably Django in 2012. So everything that happens in this movie in terms of violence, it is super violent. Buzzsaws, going to faces, blood. I'm talking like fountains of it will spurt out. It's like the over top like comedic gore, which is, it's got a really, I'm geeking out over this movie because I actually really enjoy it. I think with the over the top violence and gore, it has that ridiculous, fun, cheesy tone that you kind of want from this movie because it kind of sets itself up like that. It's very self-aware. It's not anything it's trying not to be. It knows what it wants to be from the get-go. And I think with you adding these cheesy, violent moments with over-the-top gore, it's its own unique voice and unique tone to the movie. And I'm kind of a gore hound, so I really like the gore. And some of the violence is actually really creative. I was like, I've never seen that before, and so guys, please go see this movie. Like, what I just described to you is basically what I liked about it and everything, and I have no complaints on it. I just thought it was a nice, fun little movie that I really liked watching at midnight. So that's as far as the directing. That was the it was directing. Okay, so the acting. I really like the kids. Hold on, because this is not made in this country. I'm gonna screw up their names. Monroe Chambers and Lawrence LeBoeuf. They were cool as the two main little kids, and I really like their chemistry because like at first it was kind of like off because she was like super hyper and he was like kind of resistant, but then you find out like why she is what she is. So they had really great chemistry. There's a character called the Cowboy. That's all I'm gonna say. He's really badass and he teams up with the kids. And Zeus, he's really kind of menacing, just wants power and stuff. And Skeletron's really cool. It doesn't say one word throughout the entire thing, but his suit looked cool. So I really like the acting for the most part. I think that you can tell they were having fun with this. And I think that when the actors are having fun in a movie and you can see that, it makes you have a lot of fun with it. You can kind of play along with them. So the acting all around is just fantastic, especially with this kind of cheesy, cool script. They make it their own, man. So acting is great. Cinematography is gorgeous. I really liked the barren, desolate wasteland and landscapes and stuff. It was just really cool cinematography in terms of like just mountains and just mountains of dirt everywhere. But like you could have like these colorful characters come in and kind of elevate that scene. It's just really well shot. I love the deep, rich colors of the grays with the post-apocalyptic landscape. And then, like I said, with the contrast of like Turbo Kid's outfit, which is like all red, and like Apple's got like, this bright blue hair and stuff. And so it's just really great contrast. And I really love the colors. They really pop. And I think that's one of the reasons why it has that 80s tone a little bit, because the colors are just so just loud and like in your face. And I loved it. So the cinematography is very gorgeous to look at. Editing, this movie is an hour and a half. I wouldn't change anything in terms of the pace of the rhythm. I think this thing is dead on. It knows what it wants to be. It's a revenge film. And so, it starts out with Turbo Kid and, ends with this huge gory battle. And I felt like the pace and the rhythm were perfect for this movie. It's like an hour and a half and no complaints on that. So overall, guys, this was my favorite film so far at the festival. I really enjoyed myself. If you guys like over-the-top, cheesy violence and gore, dialogue, but it's also really cool and rich in colors and cinematography, and the story is actually kind of cool. It's just really interesting. It's just an interesting combination of a lot of things. Like I said, Mad Max, the 80s, you have like the kid elements. It kind of reminds me of I'm blanking right now, but like I said, it's like the kid version of Mad Max. And so I think there was just a lot of elements like kind of thrown in together to make this really unique movie that you've really never seen before. And like I said, I have to warn you again, it is super violent and super gory, but it's more in that comedic over-the-top aspect. So I had a great time. Thank you, filmmakers, for allowing me to see this movie because it was just awesome. And I saw it at midnight, so the crowd was like super into it. So, and that made for a really fun time. So overall, I was contemplating on this. I want to go high. I'll go 8. I think an 8 out of 10 is perfect for this movie. Very strong 8. I really enjoyed it. And it's in my top 10 of the year so far. I enjoyed it that much, guys. If you like over-the-top cheesiness, violence, awesome, cool visual, this is a unique movie, guys. I think you will like it, especially if you're into those types of movies, kind of like I am. So it was one of the ones I was looking forward to at the festival. I was not disappointed. Turbo Kid. Go see it. So have you even heard of Turbo Kid, or do you even want to see it? Comment, place Robo on face and let me know. And as always, thanks for watching my reviews. I'm Chase Lee. And tune in next time for whatever I review next live. And no one watched live, so I have no questions to answer. That's okay. No one really watches these things anyways. I'll see you guys next time for another episode. Let me play my outro music. You guys ready for it? Here we go. Oh, yeah. Turbo Kid.